Clear skies, temperatures in the high 70s. Talk about a beautiful night for baseball here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Rockies coming off a sweep of the best team in the NL Central. The Pirates now face the worst team in the NL Central by record, the Cardinals. And I'll bet a couple of you might have had those roles reversed for the two teams from Pittsburgh and St. Louis, respectively. Jack Flaherty, 2-7 on the year. He has struggled. This is his 16th start, 4.81 is ERA, 82 and a third innings, 95 strikeouts. That's good. 34 walks, has allowed 84 hits and a handful of home runs as well. So Flaherty, going into the season, trying to be the ace of the Cardinals staff, has struggled. David Dahl is going to lead things off for the Rockies. Playing left field nowadays is David Dahl with Garrett Hampson getting the majority of the starts in center thanks to his very hot start. Rockies and Cardinals are the worst two teams in the National League by record, so a premier matchup for you tonight. Again, 30-41 for the Cardinals, has them last place in the NL Central. Pirates and Brewers are at the top. And you have the Reds, then Cubs, then Cardinals. Flaherty into his motion 2-0 pitch to Dahl is going to miss down and in. 3-0 to start things off. Trevor Story is waiting on deck. Here comes the 3-0 to Dahl, and it's in there for a called strike. 83-mile-an-hour fastball that time from Flaherty. So a 4-game winning streak right now for the Rockies, and they won those games at Coors Field. And even though the Rockies have been much better on the road this year, there's a swing and a miss. So from 3-0, the count is now full on David Dahl. So the road is where the Rockies have made their home this year. Hopefully they'll be able to continue that 4-game winning streak here in St. Louis. Payoff pitch to Dahl is going to miss low. And that is a leadoff walk to the leadoff man, David Dahl. Put a runner on for Trevor Story.
Batting second, the shortstop, Trevor Story.
Story is batting .253 on the year, good power numbers. You can see a much different Story against lefties and righties, no pun intended there. Lefties, .348 average, 5 homers. Story has been hitting for power against both-handed pitching, .206 only his batting average against righties, but has hit quite a handful of home runs against same-handed pitching. First pitch from Flaherty here is swung on and missed. Story is 2 for 5, very small sample in his career against Flaherty. One of those hits was a home run. The 0-1 is on the outside, part of the outside corner. Home plate umpire Clyde Washington, Earl Hendricks at first, Woody Keller at second, Ed Drummond is at third. 0-2 pitch to Story is swung on and missed. That was a pitch in the dirt. Throw over to first base. Dahl is not going anywhere. And that's the first strikeout of the game, the first out that Flaherty picks up. And Charlie Blackmon will be the batter. Blackmon hitting .290 on the year. First pitch is a breaking ball in for a called strike, curveball. 15 home runs, 36 runs batted in, a very solid .902 OPS for Blackmon. He had cooled off a bit at the very beginning of the homestand against the Diamondbacks, but then really turned things on, as most of the Rockies' offense did, scoring 40 runs in their last 4 games. Blackmon has 43 runs scored overall, but the Rockies overall scoring 40 runs in 4 games. That is by far their best stretch of run scoring this year. Blackmon swings skies one in the air towards center field. It's playable, and that's out number 2. Let's look at the rest of the Rockies lineup now. Saw Dahl in left, Story at short, Blackmon at third. In right, batting third. Batting cleanup at third base, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth, first baseman Daniel Murphy. Batting sixth at second base, Ryan McMahon. Batting seventh in center field, Garrett Hampson. Batting eighth, the catcher Elias Diaz, catching for Kyle Freeland today. Freeland could use a good start. He has had a rather interestingly not very successful stretch in his last 4 games or so, and that could not be more different than the Kyle Freeland we saw to start this year. He still has an ERA of 3.77. That's mostly a testament to how good he has been through much of the season, but a real rough stretch as of late. 0-1 pitch to Arenado is going to miss low and away. Arenado batting .322, Nolan being Nolan. The 1-1 pitch is going to miss in the dirt. That one's going to get away. That'll allow Dahl to advance up to second base. That's going to be a wild pitch on Jack Flaherty. So a runner in scoring position for Nolan Arenado. He likes hitting with those. And it's a hitter's count as well on Nolan Arenado. 2-1 is swung on and chopped foul. Swing and a miss. He got him on strike, so that'll retire the side. The Rockies get a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, but that is all. We go to the bottom of the first. We'll see Wong, Munoz, and Goldschmidt due up for the Cardinals. Kyle Freeland making his 13th start of the year. 3.77 ERA, 62 innings pitched, 31 strikeouts, and 19 walks. And that is a bit concerning when you look at the strikeout rate for Kyle Freeland. It's under 5 per 9 innings. Definitely want to see that a little bit higher. Colton Wong will lead things off for St. Louis. He's batting .257 on the year, 2 homers, and 27 runs batted in. Rockies saw the Cardinals at Coors Field earlier this year. This is the first time the Rockies have seen themselves going to Busch Stadium, only time. Rockies at 31-40, last place in the NL West. Mentioned this is a battle of the 2 worst records in the National League here, Rockies and Cardinals today. The Rockies have certainly not been playing like the worst team lately, especially with that sweep of the first-place Pirates. There's a check swing, and that pitch is going to miss outside, ball 1. Freeland kicks and deals. That's a check swing and a pitch outside. Wong did not go. Hitter's count. This is Ben Kuchner-Kavich of Purple Row along with you. And I'll let you know this broadcast is not affiliated with Major League Baseball, MLB The Show 20, or the Colorado Rockies. Freeland, windup, and the 2-1 is inside. 3 balls and a strike. Jairo Munoz is waiting on deck. Be advantageous for Freeland to have a quick first inning here. His 3-1 is swung on and lined into center field, a base hit. Leadoff single for Colton Wong. Rockies got a leadoff base runner in the top of the first. We're not able to bring him home. See if Freeland can do the same thing, get out of this. Wouldn't really call it a jam, but get around the base runner, just like Jack Flaherty did. Munoz batting .167, 1 home run, 6 runs batted in on the year. First pitch from Freeland here is check swing pitch outside, ball 1. Munoz has a .441 OPS. So he's been fighting it a little bit to begin the 2020 campaign. 1-0 pitch is swung on and shot back to the mound. Freeland goes to second for 1, back to first, and that is a double play. Started by the pitcher Kyle Freeland himself. Let's look at the rest of the lineup now for St. Louis. Second baseman Wong, shortstop Munoz. Batting third, the first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Batting cleanup, the third baseman Paul DeYoung. Lane Thomas is in center, Tyler O'Neill in left, Dexter Fowler in right, and Matt Wieters is catching for Jack Flaherty, who's batting ninth. Here's Paul Goldschmidt now, batting .363. There's a swing and a high fly ball to deep left field. This ball is way back, and that ball is gone. Well, Rockies saw plenty of this when Goldschmidt wore a Diamondbacks uniform. That's his 18th home run of the year, and it's going to give the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. Estimated distance 430 feet off the bat, 105.9 mile per hour exit velocity for the slugging first baseman of St. Louis. And the quote-unquote best fans in baseball will have something to celebrate. Little doubt about that one off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt. See, David Dahl gave it a bit of a courtesy look. Here's Paul DeYoung now, 229 on the year, 7 homers, 27 driven in. And he swings and lines one towards right field. It looks like Blackmon's right there. He'll squeeze it, and that'll retire the side. Cardinals get on the board first, solo home run for Paul Goldschmidt. It's 1-0 St. Louis after an inning of play. Daniel Murphy leads off the second inning, 1-0 St. Louis after the Goldschmidt home run. Murphy is hitting .252, much better against right-handed pitching than lefties. Lefties under the Mendoza line, the average for Murphy. We're on the .275 mark against right-handed pitching. Solid. Swinging a chop foul. Question is, who are the Rockies going to have as Murphy's platoon partner? Because it looks like Murphy's going to, at the starts against righties, Josh Fuentes has struggled to start this year. Chris Owings has really come back down to earth, and neither have appreciably better numbers against left-handed pitching. So they'll continue to try to figure things out. That was a fly out by Murphy. Cardinals defense, left to right in the outfield. Tyler O'Neill, Lane Thomas, Dexter Fowler. Infield corners, Paul DeYoung and Paul Goldschmidt. Up the middle double play combination, Jairo Munoz and Colton Wong. And Matt Wieters is doing the catching today for Jack Flaherty. Here's Ryan McMahon with one out. Third place in the NL right now with his 20 home runs. There's a high fly ball towards center field. Thomas is camping under it, and he'll make the catch. Good sound off the bat by McMahon, but must have just got under that one. Loud out number 2. That's going to leave it up to Garrett Hampson, who's on a very hot stretch right now. 316 overall, 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. And that homestand, he was tearing the cover off the baseball. Hampson is 14 for his last 25 at the plate. There's a ground ball weakly back to the mound. Flaherty throws to first. That'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the second. It's a good inning, a very quick inning for Flaherty. It's 1-0 Cardinals. Bottom of the second, Lane Thomas, the center fielder, leads things off against Kyle Freeland. .260 batting average on the year for Lane Thomas. First pitch is in there for a called strike. Looking slider from Freeland. Thomas homered in his last game. The 0-1 delivery is going to miss inside.
1 ball, 1 strike.
One from Freeland is swung on and grounded up the middle. That's into center field, a base hit. Leadoff single in the bottom of the second for Lane Thomas. Tyler O'Neill, left fielder, will be the batter. Freeland got a double play in the bottom of the first. We'll see if he can do it again. O'Neill batting .246, 5 home runs, 19 driven in. And the pitch is inside, ball 1. That one's high, 2-0. Throw to first, and they got him. Kyle Freeland picks off Lane Thomas, who was definitely leaning there. Good move by the lefty Freeland, and that is out number 1. Nice tag also applied by Daniel Murphy. So now 1 out, nobody on, a 2-0 count on Tyler O'Neill. The pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen.
Nope.
It's going to miss outside, 3 balls and a strike. Dexter Fowler is waiting on deck. Former Rocky, batting .274 this season. 3-1 delivery to Tyler O'Neill is swung on and lined towards the gap in right center field. That ball is going to get down and bang off the wall. Very good speed for O'Neill. He will hold up at second base with a double. And Dexter Fowler will get an opportunity with a runner in scoring position. Fowler is 11 for his last 20 at the plate. That's getting into Garrett Hampson streak territory. 5-game hitting streak for Fowler. .550 batting average. He's hitting .274 overall, 8 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Last time we saw Fowler, he hit for the cycle at Coors Field. First pitch from Freeland is taken for a strike at the knees. Fowler has history against Freeland, small history, 2 for 6. One of those hits a double. The 0-1 is swung on and lined towards the gap in right center field one more time. That's going to get down. Hampson over to cut it off. O'Neill will score easily. Fowler on his way to second base, and he is in there easily with an RBI double, and it's 2-0 St. Louis. 9th double of the year for Dexter Fowler. Steve Foster, Rockies pitching coach, is going to make a visit to the mound to discuss things with today's starting pitcher, Kyle Freeland. Don't want to get into the habits that saw Freeland give up quite a few runs in his last few games. Ground ball hit to short. Story throws to first. That is out number 2. But Freeland in his last 14 innings coming into this game allowed 21 runs. Only 15 of those were earned, though. 25 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 8 walks. 4.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's very concerning. There's a pitch low to the starting pitcher, Jack Flaherty. First-round pick back in the 2014 draft. Coming up in the third, we'll talk about a draftee by the Rockies in the 2020 draft. Zach Veen, first-round pick by the Rockies. And 9th overall. Rockies were lucky to get him, as he was projected to go 7th. 192 batting average on the year for Jack Flaherty. He's already rattled off 2 scoreless innings, and he swings and misses here. Freeland comes set, got the sign he likes a lot. And the 2-1 is swung on and missed. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Shortstop Story there has time. Throws to first and got him. And that'll retire the side. We're through 2 innings, but not before Dexter Fowler's RBI double scores Tyler O'Neill. And the Cardinals have extended their lead to 2-0. We go to the third. Elias Diaz, you can look at the extreme splits for him. 370 batting average against lefties, 172 against right-handed pitching, and 268 overall. Is in there against a righty today, but that is just because Kyle Freeland is getting the start today, and Diaz is who he works well with. First pitch here is taken high, ball 1. Diaz does have 5 runs batted in his last 3 games. Pretty good stretch for him, but the whole entirety of the Rockies offense was firing on all cylinders in that last homestand, especially the last 4 games. So Patrick Saunders of the Denver Post had a really good article exploring some of the history of Zach Veen. So in 6th grade, that was when he first caught the attention of Johnny Goodrich, the man who later became his high school coach, mentor, and close friend. So 12 years old, Veen would often hop off the school bus, gobble down a snack, and pedal in his bike 20 minutes to the Spruce Creek High practice fields in Port Orange, Florida. And when his time came, slip into the batting cage and try to match up with the big kids. Goodrich, his later high school coach, remembered looking into the cage and thinking, who's this little runt taking swings? And now that little runt Wednesday was selected in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft, the left-handed hitting outfielder by the Colorado Rockies. Now 18 years old, again with the 9th overall selection. A lot of college players in the draft, but hard work, desire, and a growth spurt was what was advantageous for Veen. It's a a line drive right to the glove of the first baseman Goldschmidt for out number 1. So Veen said he put in the work. He thought he had the skills, but he had to wait for his body to get bigger and stronger. And this spring, Veen hit .500 with 15 runs scored, 4 doubles, 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in, and 17 stolen bases for Spruce Creek prior to the season's cancellation due to the coronavirus. He was Florida's 2019-20 Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year, and now is widely viewed as the best high school player in the country. Freeland grounds one off the glove of Flaherty, and by the time Goldschmidt picks it up and throws over to him covering, Freeland's going to beat that one out. That'll be an infield single. Went off the leg or foot of Flaherty. I think he looks okay, though, and it looks like they will be waving off any trainers. Walking it off is Flaherty, and he will be good to stay in this ball game. But a shot off the bat of Kyle Freeland up the middle. David Dahl will be the batter now. He drew a walk his first time up. Fouled out of play by Dahl. So Veen, his calling card, silky smooth swing, strong throwing arm, and speed. But Goodrich said there's something else at play, and he said it wasn't the skill so much as his pure determination. That's what he noticed. It was his overwhelming will to be successful. But 2 years ago, Veen's body did not match his willpower. Even after he shot past 6 foot by the end of his sophomore year in 2018, he only weighed 145 pounds and was considered too small to make the A squad for a traveling summer team, but he never quit. He said he wanted to prove people wrong that didn't think he was as good as the other kids, always believed he could be one of the better players in the country, and he just really wanted to show everybody what he believed. Ground ball to first base. Goldschmidt goes to second for one. Return throw is a double play, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Cardinals. Bottom of the third inning, Colton Wong got a base hit his first time up. He leads things off here. So Zach Veen, first-round pick by the Rockies in the 2020 draft. This summer was when he really began to bulk up, and he dedicated himself to the weight room, built up that body, and blossomed into a baseball player, is how Patrick Saunders of the Denver Post puts it. He played for the Orlando Scorpions, a prestigious travel baseball club, in the fall, and when the Scorpions played in a perfect game event in Fort Myers, Florida, he ranked as perfect game's number 478 player nationally. That would change, though. The Scorpions reached the semifinals when Veen launched a walk-off home run. He was named the tournament MVP award and climbed nearly 400 spots in the national rankings. Goodrich said Vic started to feel like he was one of the best players in the nation, and he started to act like it too. It was a cool transition to witness, he said. He really started to think that Veen might be the best baseball player in the 2020 class. Freeland strikes out Wong for his first strikeout of the ballgame. So Veen put himself on the baseball map, but he didn't stop there. In the spring of 2019, he hit .414 as a Spruce Creek junior, 29 extra base hits, 26 walks, 32 stolen bases. Of course, the Rockies were watching. A guy named John Cederberg is the Rockies' Central and South Florida area scouting supervisor. He had been tracking Veen's progress for years, and the club began to seriously focus on Veen last June, and now the Rockies believe they have signed a great talent who has room to improve, especially as a power hitter. Bill Schmidt, Colorado's vice president of scouting, said he has a fluid, slightly rising swing with the ability to impact the baseball. Uses his hands really well. He's got good raw power, good balance, rhythm, and timing to his swing. The Rockies invested a lot of time. There's a high fly ball towards right field. Blackman there to make the catch. That's out number 2. The Rockies invested a lot of time talking to people who knew Veen the best, making sure they knew what makes him tick. They came away impressed, decided to pull the trigger on the high school outfielder, and in doing so, Veen became only the 3rd outfielder ever selected by the Rockies with their first draft pick. You remember Kyle Parker from 2010. That didn't work out necessarily especially well. David Dahl in 2012, that worked out better. And Veen is the 15th high school player ever selected by the Rockies with their first pick. And Veen said he's a big believer that if you believe in him, he's going to give you everything he's got. That's what he's going to give Colorado, he said. Line drive right into the glove of the second baseman, McMahon. That'll retire the side. 2-0 Cardinals. We're through 3 innings. Story, Blackman, Arenado will try to get things going for the Rockies offense in the 4th. Top of the 4th inning, Trevor Story leads things off. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out on a pitch in the dirt his first time up. First pitch misses inside here. Into his motion windup, and the pitch is swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. One from Flaherty is taken in the dirt. Hitter's count now on Trevor Story. Arms up over his head goes Flaherty. His 2-1 is swung on and chopped foul. From Kyle Newman at the Denver Post. Questions are going to be what's going to happen for the Grand Junction Rockies, that team. Also the Rocky Mountain Vibes, the Brewers Rookie League affiliate. Right now, the stakeholders of Grand Junction and Colorado Springs are holding out hope. So either way, Major League Baseball's farm system is bracing right now for a major overhaul. And those are the only two, the Grand Junction Rockies and Rocky Mountain Vibes, the only two Colorado minor league teams. Story swings and hits one. I think that's going to be foul down the right field line, and it will definitely be. Had home run distance. Definitely foul ball. The 2-2 pitch from Flaherty is swung on and cued weakly, and second baseman Wong throws to first and got him. That's out number 1. So Grand Junction is the Rockies Rookie League affiliate. Rocky Mountain is the Brewers Rookie League affiliate. So they're dealing with the likelihood of the 2020 minor league season being canceled due to COVID-19 plus. Both are members of the Pioneer League, which is part of Major League Baseball's proposed 42-game contraction for 2021. Also, the Lancaster Jethawks in High A for the Rockies organization are also part of that proposed cancellation. Jerry Wilds is 79 years old. He's a Grand Junction season ticket holder and has been ever since the team came to town in 2012. And he said he's still trying to stay hopeful, but the reality is what it is. A lot of fans and franchises, front offices are looking at the writing on the wall that Colorado may have seen the last of its minor league baseball. Pitch in the dirt, hitter's count now on Charlie Blackman. Wild said if the Rockies and the Vibes do leave, again, Grand Junction Rockies, it would be an economic and cultural void, he said. He said it would be a step backward for baseball in Colorado. He said you're taking away 2 ball teams, and you have to consider the amount of people it'll hurt, how it'll affect the economy in both cities. The reach of minor league baseball is large because it's something enjoyable to do all summer. Nice, clean, affordable family entertainment, he said. That reach and that intimacy will be lost in Colorado going forward on both sides, he said. Blackman draws a walk with 1 out. Base runner on for Nolan Arenado. That proposed contraction has been accompanied by a public back and forth between MLB and the minor leagues, which come along with a new professional baseball agreement, or PBA. The PBA which binds the separate entities together, expires on September 15th of this year. Major League Baseball wants to use the negotiations with minor league baseball to trim down a farm system owners argue has become too large, too costly, and too inefficient. But with the coronavirus having put the major league season in peril, all of baseball's powers that be have been focused solely on a return to big league play over the past few months. Chris Phillips is general manager of the Vibes, and he said before the negotiations were ramping up, there was a lot of good movement on the minor league side getting congressional support and things like that, which all came to a screeching halt. And Major League Baseball is such a mess with the contentious negotiations, Phillips said. So until they can get that situation figured out, minor league baseball is on the back burner. The Vibes, despite all ominous indications, are staying positive and creative in the midst of the pandemic. The team set up meal takeout services in coordination with guidelines from the county health department, also using UC Health Park for drive-in movies, high school graduations, and fireworks shows. Arenado grounds one to short, 6-4-3. That is an inning-ending double play. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's 2-0 Cardinals. Bottom of the fourth inning, Paul DeYoung 0-for-1 leads off against Kyle Freeland. 2-0 St. Louis. DeYoung lined out his first time up. So continuing to talk about Kyle Newman's article in the Denver Post about the potential contraction of the minor league teams, there's a chance that UC Health Park, which is what the Vibes are using for drive-in movies, high school graduations, and fireworks shows, there's a chance UC Health Park could also be used as a Rockies practice field if the Major League Baseball season occurs, and types of spring training going on there. High fly ball to center field. Hampson's going back on this one. He's got it in range now. He'll make the catch for out number one. But Phillips, the GM of the Vibes, Chris Phillips, said, they've talked internally as it's become more and more evident there isn't going to be a season that they have to transition this year from Vibes baseball to Vibes entertainment. Had to start thinking outside the box, and way outside the box at that, with no restrictions of a strict game schedule and the fact they don't have to keep the field as pristine as they do during the regular season. As for what's going on in Grand Junction, Wilds, the season ticket holder who has been a lifelong season ticket holder for the Grand Junction Rockies, so the Rockies are not doing a thing as far as information or promoting right now and what's been going on. Again, the Grand Junction Rockies. But he, like his daughter, Shannon Sneddon, said they aren't mad at Dick Monfort. He's the majority owner of the Rockies and Grand Junction Rockies. Also not mad at any particular individual over the prospect of losing the team. Sneddon is also an original season ticket holder and coordinates with families, host families for the team. In the past, she's housed current Rockies big leaguers Raimel Tapia, Brendan Rodgers, and Sam Hilliard. So line drive right into the glove. The left fielder Dahl, 2 away. Sneddon said, "Do I have any ill will towards anyone? No. Would we love for them to stay? Yes. But also, yes, we all understand this is ultimately a business decision by Major League Baseball." Well, MLB has painted the need for contraction as partly driven by the economic feasibility and poor facilities of certain lower-level franchises, but that is certainly not the case, decidedly, in Grand Junction or Colorado Springs, where the Vibes play. Both of the fields are above-grade stadiums, especially for rookie league franchises. And also the Grand Junction is home of the JUCO World Series since 1958. Colorado Springs has also had a AAA team from 1988 to 2018. Pitch inside to Tyler O'Neill. Robin Brown is executive director of the Grand Junction Economic Partnership and said, "The Rockies are one of the successful franchises as opposed to many lower-level teams that have poor facilities and they're in much smaller markets. Financially, it probably doesn't make sense for MLB to keep some of those open, but ours stands out differently in that regard." Talk about an economic standpoint, though. Both teams are drivers, and Grand Junction, Area Chamber of Commerce President Diane Schwenke, estimates the Grand Junction Rockies have an economic impact of $7 million to $10 million annually, and Phillips put the same figure in Colorado Springs at about $20 million. We're through 4 innings. 2-0 Cardinals. Rockies manager Bud Black talking things over with pitching coach Steve Foster. Latest news we're hearing from Jeff Passan is that MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred has told ESPN that he's not confident there will be a 2020 baseball season. He said, quote, "Unfortunately, I can't tell you that I'm 100% certain that's going to happen." That is much different from a few days ago when Manfred said he is certain there will be a Major League season, so a little bit of a different messaging there. 0-1 pitch to Murphy is swung on and skied towards left center field. O'Neill on the run, he'll get there. That's out number 1. Tracy Ringlesby at Sports Illustrated. An article about another Rockies draft choice, and that is Chris McMahon, not related to Ryan McMahon we see at the plate right now. Chris McMahon, according to Ringlesby, has a live fastball, changeup, slider, and he added a cutter to his pitch selection last summer. He was drafted by the Rockies in the second round of last week's first-year player draft. He says he has something to prove. The fact that he slipped to 47th, as the 47th pick, bugs him big time. Baseball America projected him as the 30th best player in the draft, and he said to go from the first round to the 40s is a motivation. He was not happy Wednesday night after the first round, and it was hard sleeping, he said. He said it was 3:30 a.m. Thursday before he finally fell asleep. He had to keep proving people wrong and show them he didn't deserve to slide like that, he said. He said he won't forget Wednesday night forever, so that is some added motivation for him. Rockies are definitely ready to give McMahon every opportunity to make his point. As Ryan McMahon grounds one back to the mound, Flaherty throws to first. Chris McMahon has been in the Rockies' plan since his high school days back in Pennsylvania. Bill Schmidt said they'd been scouting Chris since he was in high school. They wanted to attend the University of Miami, which turned into a good decision. He did. But he continued his development. It's been a 4-year process with Chris McMahon, the Rockies said. And he made it clear that he's ready to be a member of the Rockies organization. The slot money for the 37th pick in the draft is $1.6 million, and he said he would be signing, not returning to Miami for his senior season. He was quoted as saying, "I'm going to sign that piece of paper." So we haven't heard anything, at least at the time of this recording, on Chris McMahon signing with the Rockies. So the Rockies did sign a undrafted free agent. We'll tell you who that is in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 2-0 Cardinals. Luke Leisenring, catcher from the University of South Carolina, Aiken, signed for $20,000 as an undrafted free agent with the Rockies. That's the only one we know of at the time of this recording that has in fact signed with the Rockies. The draft picks have not signed, though it's fairly likely that the majority of them will, I'd say. We were talking about Chris McMahon, who is not formally signed yet, but he said he is definitely going to be doing so, ready to get started on his climb to the big leagues. And he said he noticed something about Colorado. It's not a pitcher's park at Coors Field, it's a hitter's park. At the end of the day, he said he just has to figure out how to get outs and win ball games. Ground ball to third, Arenado throws to first. It's out number 1. But he showed that, did Chris McMahon at Miami. 3-0 this spring with a 1.05 ERA in an abbreviated season. Made 4 starts, walked 5, struck out 38 in 25 2/3 innings. He was the second of 2 Miami Hurricane pitchers drafted last week. The 17th year in a row Miami has had a pitcher selected. Slade Caccione, however you pronounce it. Sorry, Slade. Either way, it's a very cool name. Was a draft-eligible sophomore, and he went with a 33rd selection to Arizona, so could be some Rockies Diamondbacks battles there with Slade Caccione and Chris McMahon. But McMahon said it's all JD. He's talking about pitching coach J.D. Arteaga. He just finished his 18th year on the Hurricane staff. And McMahon said he developed his pitching ability so much since he stepped on campus his first year. But Schmidt said McMahon made a wise decision when he passed on signing a pro contract out of high school. Freeland picks up a second strikeout there. And McMahon said, I don't know if I was physically ready for pro ball out of high school. For me, going to college, getting bigger and strong in development, some other pitchers, and the education is a big thing. Obviously can't play baseball forever. At Miami, he said he feels his development was enhanced by the quality of competition from within the team's pitching staff, as well as the challenge of pitching in the ACC. Week in, week out, the guys you face are good ball players, he said. He raised... So there was a friendly competition among the Hurricane starters. Everyone wanted to be the Friday night guy, but they all knew they were going to win a lot of ball games, a lot of series, and accepted their role. The attitudes were that it doesn't matter. They just wanted to win. They wanted to get to Omaha for the College World Series. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Freeland. Picks up a couple in that inning. And we're through 5. It's still 2-0 Cardinals. Rockies looking to get some offense going.
Leading off for the Rockies, the catcher, number
Elias Diaz leads off the 6th inning. He's 0 for 1, lined out his first time up. His slash on the year, 265, 311, 381. Jack Flaherty's first pitch is low and away, ball 1. Well, some news from J.J. Cooper of Baseball America. For the first time since the spring training shutdown in March, because of the coronavirus pandemic, scouts are now allowed to hit the road to do in-person scouting once again. The ban has been lifted. And just in time for the Perfect Game National Showcase in Hoover, Alabama, scheduled to begin tomorrow. Teams are going to be limited to no more than 3 scouts per event to limit travel. Cuts the number of scouts teams can send to some of the larger events of the summer, but with showcases and travel ball tournaments happening all around the country, a limitation like that is not a big hurdle in keeping scouts from scouting as they usually do all summer. Scouts do have to adjust their schedules pretty significantly, though, because of the dramatically altered schedule for the summer. Diaz strikes out, third strikeout for Flaherty. So that's going to significantly reduce the number of scouting events for top collegians. The USA Baseball College national team, it's usually one of the key scouting stops of the summer. They're not playing. And similarly, the Cape Cod League has announced it will not play in 2020. There's a high pop-up with the bat of Kyle Freeland for out number 2. The Northwoods League announced that it has a group of teams playing in Bismarck, North Dakota. That began yesterday, and they have 6 teams playing in a Wisconsin pod beginning on July 1st. On the high school circuit, most of the major events of the summer have remained on the schedule. NCAA coaches will not be joining scouts on the road. NCAA extended its ban on in-person scouting through July 31. It's not just about health and safety reasons, but multiple coaches said they believe cost savings play a significant role in the decision, as athletic directors are looking at very difficult budgets in light of the effect of the pandemic. But teams, again, are allowed to scout again, but the Angels and Athletics are a couple teams that have furloughed most of their amateur scouting staff. And there are questions among scouts as to how much some teams will want to spend on travel during a time when teams are spending their time cutting back on expenses. Dahl swings skies one in the air towards left field. O'Neill makes the catch. That'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Cardinals. Flaherty's got it going today. Bottom of the 6th, Colton Wong 1 for 2, base hit in the first inning. Leads things off against Kyle Freeland at 57 pitches, 2-0 Cardinals. So amateur baseball is getting back to work this summer. But there remain health and safety concerns, especially for scouts in those high-risk categories. Alabama, which is the site of the PG National Showcase, has recorded its 3 highest numbers of new cases of coronavirus in each of the past 3 days. And Alabama's total hospitalizations for coronavirus also trending upward, as is the percentage of tests that came back positive. So that's an indication the larger numbers are not simply the result of increased testing. So Alabama is a bit of a concerning place right now, I would say. Fly ball to left field, Dahl there to make the catch. There's one away. It's going to bring up the shortstop, Yairo Munoz, 0 for 2 on the day. Fly out and grounded into a double play. His slash on the year, 162, 193, 237. Perhaps leaving a little bit to be desired there. Pitched low, ball 1. Jairo Munoz out of the Dominican Republic. Swing the ground ball to short. Story up of the ball, throws to first. That is out number 2. Paul Goldschmidt, the batter, he's 1 for 2 on the day with a solo home run. That got the scoring started for the Cardinals today. We'll take a look at it one more time back in the first inning. And since then, Dexter Fowler got himself an RBI double. And the Rockies have not been able to muster more than a single hit. And that was by the pitcher Kyle Freeland off the shoe of the starting pitcher Jack Flaherty. That's the only hit. It didn't leave the infield. Paul Goldschmidt takes first pitch strike. Let's see, 5 for 23 in his career against Kyle Freeland. Only a .217 batting average. That's a fairly decent sample. Home run today, however. Freeland into his motion windup, and the 0-1 pitch is inside.
1 ball, 1 strike.
One from Freeland is swung on and grounded into left field to base hit. It's the second hit of the ball game for Paul Goldschmidt. Hits leaders on the Cardinals entering play today. Paul Goldschmidt had 95, so he's up to 97 now. Colton Wong up to 71, Yadier Molina 65, Lane Thomas 58, and Tyler O'Neill, Matt Carpenter, and Dexter Fowler. Jeff Hoffman and Antonio Senzatella have both started throwing long relievers for the Rockies in the bullpen. Paul DeYoung 0 for 2 on the day. Freeland will pitch from the stretch now. And his first pitch to Paul DeYoung is swung on and grounded to first base. Murphy takes it himself. That'll retire the side. We're through 6 innings. It's 2-0 Cardinals. Freeland's really settled in, but Jack Flaherty's had it going all day. We go to the 7th. Trevor Story leads off the 7th inning. He's 0 for 2 on the day. First pitch from Jack Flaherty is swung on and missed. Jordan Hicks, the righty, Andrew Miller, the lefty, up in the Cardinals bullpen. Here's the 0-1. That's low. Here's some more of the latest on baseball's plan to return from Joel Sherman of the New York Post. He said expectation was Manfred would use the power vested in him back from March 26th. The Story drives one towards the right center field gap to implement a 50-ish game season at worst, but Major League Baseball anticipates that soon after it imposes, the union will file a grievance that the league did not live up to its contractual word to try to play as many games as possible this year. MLB would then likely file a counter grievance that the union did not bargain in good faith. The litigation would take a while, perhaps years, to be settled. MLB, though, if it lost, could be in position to owe billions in lost wages for games not played. But also part of the March 26 deal, Manfred has a right to never start the season if 3 criteria are not met, including restrictions that would materially limit the club's ability to play games in front of spectators. None of the 3 have been met, so Manfred could potentially never start the season. So that's where we're at right now. Charlie Blackmon swings and pulls one foul. As Jeff Passan of ESPN writes, the league and players have spent the past 2 months bickering, not listening to one another, and prioritizing self over sport. The only job was to figure out how to get the game back on the field as soon as possible, and as Passan writes, they failed. He says the public faith in baseball is at its lowest point in a quarter century, and every last bit of damage done is self-inflicted. It did not need to be this way. And he says, unless there is a drastic change, this Blackmon flies one to center field. It's going to be out number 1. Unless there's a drastic change in the relationship between league and union leaders, baseball would spend at least the next 2 years stuck in an endless pattern of fighting, ugliness, pettiness, and counterproductivity. And again, it was Arenado will fly out to Fowler in foul territory, 2 away. It was last week when Commissioner Rob Manfred said, unequivocally, we are going to play Major League Baseball this year. He put the chances of a season at 100%. Those are not adverbs and percentages a commissioner uses unless he intends on standing behind them. Evidently, that has now changed, though. Daniel Murphy, the batter. First pitch is taken for a strike. Murphy swings skies one towards right field. Fowler going back. He's got it in range. He'll make the catch. That'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch. Corey Shembry will sing for us. And Lane Thomas, Tyler O'Neill, and Dexter Fowler will bat. It's 2-0 Cardinals.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Ladies and gentlemen.
New pitcher for the Rockies will be Jeff Hoffman, 33rd appearance of the season. 4-0 his record. 58 innings of 5.43 ERA, 40 strikeouts, 20 walks. Giving up a handful of hits to righties and lefties alike. First batter he will face is Lane Thomas. Carlos Estevez and James Pazos are both up in the Rockies bullpen. There's a pitch low and away, ball 1.
1 ball, no strike.
It's in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. So, what is a grievance? That is the procedure by which the union and league solve disputes. That's rather than a disagreement going to court, either side can grieve to the arbitrator, who can be fired at any time without cause by one party. An arbitrator is ruled on everything from collusion by Major League Baseball to last winter's Chris Bryant service time case. There's a lot of grievance talk going on these days. Hoffman gets a strikeout. There's 1 away. And the league would file a grievance because it could believe the union acted in bad faith, which is a legal term that accuses a party of dishonest dealing. Again, the deputy commissioner of baseball, not Manfred, but the deputy commissioner, Halem, wrote, "We are convinced that the association has purposely failed to fulfill its obligations under the March agreement and has deprived the Cubs the benefit of their bargain in the March agreement. All while continuing to enjoy the lucrative benefits the clubs agreed to provide to the association in return, which is $170 million in salary advances and full service time, irrespective of whether or not games are played. This failure to act in good faith has caused enormous damage to the sport." And games, by the way, can be played during a grievance case. So if a party were to grieve, it wouldn't necessarily shut down the season. So why would the union file a grievance? Well, if the league does impose a shorter schedule, which looks like it might be our best chance of actually getting baseball, the MLBPA believes Major League Baseball will not have fulfilled its duty in the March agreement to use the best efforts to play as many games as possible. It's pitch in the dirt. MLB's response likely would argue that it could not fulfill the best efforts clause based on the caveats included, while taking into account player safety and health, rescheduling needs, competitive considerations, stadium availability, and the economic feasibility of various alternatives. So, Bassan writes, this is the end game. First, players who have complained about a lack of transparency in MLB's financial disclosures believe the discovery phase of a grievance case could compel the league to turn over financial documents. And second, if the arbitrator were to rule that MLB didn't fulfill its best effort provisions, the arbitrator could force the league to hand over hundreds of millions of dollars to players for missed pay. Swung on and fouled out of play by Dexter Fowler. So a grievance over negotiating in bad faith could be filed as well. So ground ball hit towards short, long throw for Story, and got him. Nice play. And that'll retire the side. We're through 7. McMahon, Hampson, and Diaz due up in the 8th. Eighth inning, Ryan McMahon leads things off. He's 0 for 2 on the day. 2-0 Cardinals. Rockies' offense has really been shut down by Jack Flaherty today, who's only at 84 pitches. McMahon 0 for 2, flyout and a grounder. Just a couple hits today for the Rockies. Kyle Freeland's infield single off the foot of the pitcher Flaherty, and Trevor Story in the 7th drove a double to the right center field gap. McMahon 1 for 7 in his career against Flaherty. It's in there for a called strike. 8th inning, so we'll check some scores around baseball. Giants beat the Nationals 4-2. McMahon takes the pitch high. It's a hitter's count now. 28,275 in attendance at Busch Stadium. Mike Yastrzemski got 4 hits in the Giants win. Phillies beat the Marlins 4-3. Aaron Nola with his 5th win of the year. Chris McMahon, who we were talking about, drafted by the Rockies, had some comparisons to Aaron Nola. Miguel Rojas with his 7th home run of the year for the Marlins. Nola went 7 1/3 innings, gave up 3 runs, struck out 11. Pirates shut out the Yankees 9-0. Their Achilles heel must be the Rockies, I suppose. James Paxton with his 3rd loss of the year. It's a 3-1 count on McMahon. He takes a pitch inside, ball 4, and a leadoff walk here in the top of the 8th. Right now in the 8th inning, it's 9-4 Mets over the Cubs. Robinson Cano has hit 2 home runs, his 4th and 5th of the year. And Wilson Contreras, number 13 of the year, a home run for the Cubs. Diamondbacks and Dodgers are tied at 7 in the 5th inning. Josh Rojas has homered. So has Kike Hernandez. So he's finally homered against someone not the Rockies. Reds and Padres are tied at 5 there in the 5th. Eugenio Suarez has hit his 21st home run of the year for the Reds, and Tommy Pham, number 11 for the Padres. So Garrett Hampson at the plate, representing the potential tying run. He's been one of the better Rockies as of late at the plate. Flaherty comes set. The 1-0. That one's high. 2-0 now. Flaherty may be struggling with command a little bit. American League scores: Rays beat the Blue Jays 13-4. Hampson check swing, that's a strike. Kevin Kiermaier hit his 9th home run of the year. He drove in 4. Randall Grichuk hit his 18th home run of the year for Toronto. Braves beat the Red Sox 11-5. Max Fried got his his 4th win. Tyler Glasnow his 5th loss. And Johan Camargo homered for the first time this year for the Braves. Drove in 5. Rafael Devers hit his 13th home run for Boston. Orioles beat Cleveland 7-3. John Means with win number 7 for Baltimore. The loss went to Carlos Carrasco, his 4th, as Hampson strikes out. Hanser Alberto hit his 3rd home run of the year for the Orioles. And Delino DeShields Jr. hit a couple home runs for Cleveland in the losing cause. Tigers beat the White Sox 5-1. Daniel Norris got his 2nd win of the year. And Gio Gonzalez his 2nd loss. Fly ball towards center field off the bat of Diaz. Going back on this one is Thomas. He will run it down. That's a nice running catch, and there are 2 away. 8th inning, Royals lead the Rangers 7-4. Maikel Franco has hit home run number 9. 8th inning, Brewers lead the Twins 4-1. Josh Fuentes is going to pinch hit for Jeff Hoffman in the pitcher's spot here. 189 on the year, a couple runs batted in, around 30 or so, 30 to 40 plate appearances for Josh Fuentes on the year. 2 runs batted in, a 460 OPS for Nolan Arenado's cousin. Don't want to sell Fuentes short, though. He's more than just cousin of another big leaguer. He's a big leaguer himself. 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off quickly. 0-2 now. 99th pitch of the day coming for Jack Flaherty. And it's swung on and missed. He got him on strikes, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 2-0 Cardinals. Carlos Estevez will pitch the bottom of the 8th, 41st game of the year, 0-4 his record. 37 in the 3rd innings pitched, 47 strikeouts to 10 walks. Righties really hitting good against him, lefties not so much. We'll see which Estevez shows up today. Matt Wieters is 0-for-2 strikeout and a ground out. Kyle Freeland really settled in after the first couple innings, rattled off a few scoreless. 6 innings, strong innings of work for him. He's in line to lose this ball game, as the Rockies offense has not been able to muster much of anything today. Pitch outside.
1 ball, no strike.
That swung on and pulled foul. 99-mile-an-hour fastball from the wild thing, Carlos Estevez there. There's a strike. 1-2 the count. And swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. It's out number 1. 4-pitch strikeout for Carlos Estevez.
The pitcher, Jack Flaherty.
Starting pitcher Jack Flaherty will come up, I do believe, unless they want to go to a pinch hitter.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And they will.
your attention, please.
Ji-Man Choi
Pinch hitting for the
hitting
Rockies.
248 on the year, 6 home runs, 17 driven, and a very solid 347 on base percentage. First pitch from Estevez is taken outside. I don't know about this decision. I guess they don't want Flaherty to throw too many pitches as he had reached the 100 mark. But he was dealing today, and I don't know you could put in a pitcher who would be dealing more than Flaherty was today in the 9th. Rockies will be glad to see another pitcher. There's a strike on the inside corner.
1-1.
Tim Collins and James Pazos, a couple lefties up in the bullpen for the Rockies. Perhaps if Estevez does not get these final 2 outs and hits the 3-batter minimum, we might see another pitcher relieve him. There's a swing and a miss, really tied up Choi there. Choi was part of a simulated trade. I believe he's still on the Rays in real life. 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off. 99-mile-an-hour fastball from Estevez. One-two pitch is going to miss just a bit outside. Pretty good looking changeup there from Carlos Estevez. 2-2 pitch is going to miss low, and the count goes full. Waiting on deck, we have Colton Wong. Swung on in the sky towards left. On the run for this one is Dahl. He'll get there. He'll put it away, and that is out number 2.
Now batting, the second baseman, Colton.
Colton Wong, the batter, he's 1 for 3 on the day. Base hit back in the first inning. His slash on the year, 257. A little over 300 with the on-base percentage, a little over 350 with the slugging. And that pitch is going to miss high.
1-0.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's on the outside corner. And the count is 1-2. Estevez trying to get the final strike and the final out of this 8th inning. Send the Rockies to the 9th with a last hope on offense. And they'll be happy to face a pitcher not named Jack Flaherty, will the Rockies offense. 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off. One-two is just a bit low. Two-two pitch. Swung on and grounded foul. We'll do it again. That's low, and the count is now full. Jairo Munoz is over 3 on the day, waiting on deck. Payoff pitch from Estevez is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes, and that will retire the side. We go to the 9th. Last hope for the Rockies. We'll see what new pitcher they face.
Your attention, please.
It's going to be Giovanni Gallegos. He has recorded 7 saves and 8 opportunities. This is his 28th game of the year. 2.42 ERA in 26 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, 10 walks. Righties have hit a little bit better than lefties against him. David Dahl leads things off, drew a walk in the first inning. Otherwise, 0 for 2. Rockies offense absolutely shut down for 8 innings against Jack Flaherty, allowing just a couple of hits. There's a check swing, and Dahl went too far. It's 0-1. 2-0 Cardinals. Very briskly played ball game here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The 0-1 to Dahl is outside with a slider. The 1-1 is going to miss low. Hitters count now on David Dahl. Two-1 from Gallegos is swung on and chopped foul. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. And that is out number 1. First strikeout picked up by Gallegos. Look at the very good outing for Jack Flaherty today. 8 innings, no runs, only 2 hits. One of them was an infield single by Kyle Freeland, then gave up a double to Trevor Story. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 99 pitches, and I'm a little surprised he didn't come back out for the 9th, but it's really been a struggle this year for Jack Flaherty, and maybe this is what will get him going, this very good outing against the Rockies. Story is 1 for 3 with that double we mentioned. Swung on and chopped foul. 1-1 the count. One from Gallegos is swung on and missed. Good looking changeup there. Well, Rockies offense exploded for 40 runs in their last 4 games, and 40 runs less than that today. A base runner, though, would bring the tying run to the plate. Story swings and fouls it back over the screen. This is certainly the part of the Rockies lineup you would want up at the top of the order. Dahl striking out for out number 1. Now Trevor Story, a 1-2 pitch, is going to miss low. Again, 1 blown save on the year for Gallegos. So certainly is human. 2-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off. Here comes another 2-2, and it's swung on and fouled away again. And that's just a bit low, and the count goes full. Charlie Blackmon is waiting on deck. That one could have been called either way. But a tremendous eye by Story to take that pitch. He's got himself in a full count now. Here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on and pulled foul. What a plate appearance this has been for Trevor Story. Three-two delivery is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. And the Rockies are down to their final outs.
The right fielder, number 19,
Charlie Blackmon, last hope for the Rockies. He's 0 for 2, drew a walk in the 4th inning. First pitch is a strike. Nolan Arenado is waiting on deck, hoping to get an opportunity with a runner aboard. He would be the potential tying run if Blackmon can reach. Trying to avoid the shutout. 0-1 pitch is low. And that one's going to miss low. Hitters count now on Charlie Blackmon.
One strike.
Swung on and grounded into right field, a base hit. So Charlie Blackmon keeps the Rockies' hopes alive here in the top of the ninth. A 2-out single, and Nolan Arenado will come to the plate as the potential tying run. Charlie Blackmon now on a 7-game hitting streak. And Nolan Arenado. He is 0 for 3 on the day. I guess that means he's due, doesn't it? First pitch from Gallegos is swung on and missed. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Arenado, 1023 OPS. He's leading National League third baseman in simulated all-star voting right now. The 0-1 is going to miss outside. And that's low and away. Hitters count now on Nolan Arenado. Here comes a 2-1, and it's a broken bat, ground ball foul. We'll do it again. 14 of 23 pitches for strikes from Gallegos here in the ninth. Rockies down to their final strike. And 2-2 pitch to Arenado is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes, and that's the ball game. Very impressive 8 innings of work from Jack Flaherty today. And then the 1-2, well, not 1-2-3 ninth inning, but striking out the side in the ninth inning around the 2-out single by Blackmon was Giovanni Gallegos, and just a couple runs off Kyle Freeland in the first 2 innings of the ball game was all the Cardinals needed. RBI double for Dexter Fowler and solo home run for Paul Goldschmidt. So the former Rocky and the former division rival Rocky Killer to it against the Rockies today. And a battle of the 2 last place clubs in the National League wildcard overall standings. Rockies no runs on 3 hits, no errors. Cardinals 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Flaherty gets to 3-7 now with the win. Freeland falls to 3-6. So Flaherty will be the player of the game. 8 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. Kyle Freeland in the loss didn't end up pitching too bad of a ball game. Didn't walk anybody. Struck out 3 in 6 innings. Allowed 2 runs on 6 hits again. Just a run in the first, a run in the second. Then rattled off 4 scoreless innings. Giovanni Gallegos strikes out the side. He gets Dahl, Story, and Arenado, and it gives up a 2-out single to Charlie Blackmon in his 1 inning of work for the save. Very little highlights on Rockies' offense. The hits today came from Charlie Blackmon, who went 1 for 3 with a walk, got that single in the top of the 9th. Trevor Story 1 for 4 with a double in the 7th. Kyle Freeland also got a hit, an infield single off the foot of the pitcher Flaherty. Ryan McMahon had a walk in this game. Paul Goldschmidt goes 2 for 3 with a home run. Tyler O'Neill 1 for 3 with a double and run scored. Dexter Fowler 1 for 3 with an RBI double. And that is all. Well, we will see you. Let's take a look at when our next scheduled broadcast will be. It's not going to be any more games here with the Cardinals, but the next time on Purple Rose Sim will be this Friday, June 19. Rockies will return to Coors Field to take on the Padres. That's going to be at 6:45 p.m. Mountain Time. We'll see you right back here for then. Thank you for tuning in. We'll take a look at the box score before we leave you.